is never a result of mere chance. It is the result of various forces working together. For my guest, his religion, his childhood, his education, his deep desire to earn money is the philosophy that shaped how he picks stocks even today. Hello everyone, I'm Ramesh Damani, welcoming you to another segment of the Wizards of Dalal Street, a fresh breeze. My guest today, the head of equities at Motilal Oswal Mutual Fund, Tahir Badshah. Tahir, thank you and welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure, Tahir. Tahir, there's a song called Money, 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 but that was also your swan song, was it? Did you also want to make money?
Yes, I think so. I think that realization came in very early in my career and in my lifetime that we needed to get somewhere. It was from very humble beginnings, so obviously that there was this great urge to get to a level which was relatively more respectable. So I think I started working towards that idea. The idea shaped up in my mind in terms of getting into equity markets. It was quite a departure because I started off as an engineer.
I learned a lesson in persistence from you. Here you're an engineer and you went knocking, cold calling for a job as an analyst at Inquire, the old avatar of Motilal Oswal. A little bit of hubris on your part?
Opportunities were very less, and that's exactly what I started doing. I started distributing my resume to a couple of places, and here it is. One fine day I walked into the offices of Inquire, and it was almost a walk-in interview. I was happy on that day, lucky that Mr. Agarwal took the pain to actually meet me and probably look at my paper as well. I don't know what excited him on that particular day, looking at my paper. Perhaps the fact that you mentioned that someone like an engineer who's trying to make a foray into equity markets is an interesting combination. So I'm immensely grateful to him for having considered me on that particular day.
Yeah, but in Inquire, you got your first breakthrough idea. You said, buy Hero Honda. What led you to that dramatic conclusion at that point?
Not much was happening in the economy. The sector too was, very, very narrow. There were a few companies, Bajaj Auto for one, Tata Motors for the other, who were considered to be the only investable companies as far as, and the behemoths of the market, the equity, the auto sector at that
point. And you picked
the
David out of the Goliaths?
Yes, it was the good part was that it was an MNC. There was a lot of flavor around MNCs. However, this was not a very liked MNC, given that people didn't really like Japanese MNCs to that extent. But here is something which when I saw Spark, I thought that there was something which was going to happen here. They were coming out of a situation of having underinvested for a very long period of time, and there was this whole effort to double capacity in a short period of time. It was coming after a long gestation period. I thought this was the starting point, but that was not where the story lay. The
story lay in the migration from scooters to motorcycles.
Absolutely,
you caught that?
Yes, I think that is. I started to flesh out the story in my mind, and I used to have these repeated sessions with Ramdevji. I remember late into the evenings, and I think that's how it came about that this is a story not about the capacity expansion, but this whole element of mobility. Mobility was so constrained at that point in time in a country like India, and especially in the rural markets. Scooter was only a largely urban city-led phenomenon. So I think we tried to rationalize that this is a product which can become large. How large? We probably didn't even we didn't really have the vision to think that what was a 90-10 scooter motorcycle market would become a 10-90 scooter motorcycle.
And the stock went from what market cap to what market cap?
I think at that point in time it would have been about a 500 crore market cap, and today it is at 66,000 crores. So it's a 130 odd. Stunning, absolutely stunning. And we never thought that. It is only over a period of time that we realized that there is a serious level of value migration which is happening. And
Bajaj didn't get this transition from scooter to motorcycle. What does that tell you about the Goliaths in the industry?
It's just that sometimes you might probably get myopic. We need to guard against that. You might probably get complacent. And that is something which corporates need to guard against at every point in time, even more so nowadays because disruptions come almost every day. So I think that's what probably caught Bajaj Auto a little off guard.
You led an IPO or were part of an IPO in which your boss said a juggernaut has started rolling, and yet it didn't happen. Tell me about that.
That was the Maruti IPO in 2003. I think it was it was almost an IPO which didn't happen, as you rightly said. It was called off, about to be called off a week prior to its launch. I was the lead auto analyst at that point in time at Kotak, and Kotak was the lead manager. So there was a decent amount of responsibility on us to ensure that the issue is taken to the market. And I think perhaps as I think of it now, I feel that I might have played a slight role to nudge the promoters, the whole machinery at that point in time, even the people, my colleagues at Kotak, to actually to ensure that this thing goes through. And then again, we have history in front of us. It started off with a market cap of 5,000 crores. It's an incredible journey of a company which has had been the dominant player, and in the face of all kinds of competition continues to remain the dominant player in the car industry today, and gone from 5,000 crore market cap to 175,000 crore market cap. So that's again something which is incredible. I'm so happy and lucky that I've been associated with the two most iconic companies in the auto sector in India.
So you follow two-wheelers, you follow four-wheelers, and Nano was the wrong product. Why?
And Nano did turn out to be the wrong product, because I think one needs to understand that India is not just about pricing. It's a value seeker market, but it seeks a product with not just cheap, but something which has enough value packed in it. And probably owning a car is also something like a status symbol. So probably the Nano did not really end up conveying that, and that probably is one of the reasons why I think it didn't really succeed.
You can't go and tell your wife, hey honey, I bought the cheap one.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
You talked about pressure and making it a success. In 2013, your promoters, Ramdev Agarwal, Motilal Oswal Prop Fund, decided to invest all their savings, all their investments into your schemes. Was that pressure, or did you see that as a vote of confidence in yourself?
The promoters and the owners of the business obviously saw it as a vote of confidence on the fact that they could do this. They wanted
pretty rare, doing that.
It's rare. It was a statement to even to the market that yes, there is skin in the game, and that was a big statement to make. It of course doubled the pressure overnight on me. One is that of course there's this whole lot of money which is of your owners, of your promoters, of your employers who is coming in, and that a good part of it you are supposed to be responsible towards. And the more important thing being that here I was facing an iconic investor in Mr. Agarwal himself. We all know of his caliber and his success in this industry. So he's a tough act to replicate, and that was a challenge for me. That was the other level of challenge for me. That can I do even half of what he has done?
Even good businesses sometimes blow up on your face. As a fund manager, talk to me about some of your failures.
Oh, we had them pretty early in our investment days itself. So we had a couple of companies, like MCX was one which turned out to be quite a painful one for us. More from the point of view that it happened in the very early months of our mutual fund career, and it was a very large allocation. Unfortunately, it faced the knock-on effect of
financial
technologies. Yes, and for no crime of its own, we very well knew that this was a franchise which had nothing to do with it, but unfortunately got carried away in the collateral damage. But here we are reasonably vindicated now by we've stood the ground. We've as our philosophy has always indicated that we wanted to be buy and hold. We knew that the value of the franchise was intact. They were still market leaders in the business that they were doing.
The commodity exchanges business and the trading businesses.
And very profitable at that as well, 90%, 70-80% margins and so on, so 90% market share. So that's something which we always liked. It was pretty intact. It was just a matter of the business coming back. And I think it's come back in a great way.
You're also fulfilling your boyhood dream of making more money?
Kind of. I know it's come around pretty well. I wouldn't have thought that I would get where I've got in the last 15 years. So yes, God has been kind, it's been great, and it's been a great journey as well.
Tahir, your last name is Badshah, which means king or emperor, and a king is supposed to have many eyes and ears, and you're doing the same job for your mutual fund investors.
You're being most kind, Ramesh. Thank you very much for having me once again.
We'll see you in another segment of the Wizards of Dalal Street, A Fresh Breeze.